Freedom is earned. And then it is defended. The fight for freedom goes on every second of the nation's life. Those fighting to keep the hard-earned freedom of India secure is these men and women in uniform. When the enemy sets its evil eye on India, they stare right back. And give it back so the nation could breathe the free and fearless air, so that every day is Independence Day. As Pakistani terror did in Pahalgam, the forces struck back, not just at the terrorists, but at the heart of terror. Operation Synindhur, India's new normal. A show of India's grit, determination, and unflinching commitment to save its citizens and borders. A message to Pakistan terror industry that their time is up.
The mistake which enemy did on the intervening night of 6th and 7th May, he has been punished in a manner that he will think at least 100 times before doing the same mistake. So that is what I want to confirm to you, and I want to assure you.
Pahalgam attack was such a cowardice attack on our innocent civilians, and we, Indian Armed Forces, knows how to put these cowards into coffins.
Army, Air Force, Navy gave it their all, stunning Pakistan and making India proud.
The SAGW systems, mostly from, I'm talking about fighter aircraft are from S-400. We have at least 5 fighters confirmed killed and 1 large aircraft, which could be either an Elint aircraft or an AWNC aircraft, which was taken out at a distance of about 300 kilometers. This is the actually largest ever recorded surface-to-air kill that we can talk about.
As Pakistani air bases and terror infrastructure on its soil crumbled under the force of India's assault, these two heroes kept India informed on the valor and actions of our forces.
इंडियन आर्म फोर्सेस ने पाकिस्तान को बहुत भारी नुकसान पहुंचाया, उनके मिलिट्री इंफ्रास्ट्रक्चर्स को, चाहे वो लैंड एसेट्स हो या फिर उनके एयर एसेट्स.
All the targets were neutralized with clinical efficiency, and the results reiterate the professionalism of the Indian Armed Forces in the planning and execution of their operations.
But an operation such as Synindhur succeeds on the back of the preparedness of the force.
I would say that we are a professional army, and as a professional army, we are on training We are carrying out training 24/7 and full year. So it is an ongoing procedure.
Yeah.
It is this training, discipline and motivation that avenges the April 22nd attack in just 22 minutes and destroys 13 enemy posts in just 3 minutes.
On the intervening night of 6th and 7th May, we just had 2 mortar bombs fired by the enemy onto this exact location where you are standing. And I assure you that within 3 minutes of we receiving the fire from the enemy, with pre-coordinated fire plan, pre-planned fire assault plan, we destroyed enemy's 13 posts.
13 posts.
13 posts in terms of bunkers, you can say.
Yeah.
And I want to confirm to you once again the same thing, that the timing was just 3 minutes.
कोई शक्तियां भारत की संप्रभुता, अखंडता या जनता को क्षति पहुंचाने की योजना बना रही हैं, उन्हें करारा जवाब दिया जाएगा और आगे भी दिया जाएगा। यही भारत देश का न्यू नॉर्मल है। आज की भारतीय सेना न केवल वर्तमान चुनौतियों का सफलतापूर्वक सामना कर रही, बल्कि हम नित्य प्रतिदिन एक परिवर्तनशील, आधुनिक और भविष्य उन्मुख शक्ति के रूप में तेजी से अग्रसर हो रहे हैं।
I'm in the broader Aknoor area. I can't tell you where exactly I am. That's classified. I'm on an Indian Army T-72 tank. And what we can tell you in this very special program is that tanks like this and also BMP-2s, which are armored personnel carriers, infantry combat vehicles, were used in Operation Synindhur as well. These were used and brought right up to the line of control, and they took out terrorist incursion routes. They fired their main guns, they fired a host of weaponry. We've heard about the role of the Air Force, we've heard about fighter jets, we've heard about our infantry soldiers, Army air defense, the Air Force's air defense, all sorts of missiles being fired. But did you know that tanks also had a role during Op Synindhur?
This is a force that is battle ready, getting into action in no time when the moment calls.
Bharat Mata ki Jai! Bharat Mata ki Jai!
Indian Armed Forces decided to launch a decisive operation against the terror infrastructure in the Pakistan. It followed with our intense preparation that started from April 22nd itself, and we as artillery gunners have started deploying ourselves in our operational area. We have prepared our defenses in a very short, quick time frame and then waited for the right moment. On April 7th, 8th, 9th and 10th, when the right time came and we received the orders, we hell broke an enemy.
And when our forces strike, they leave the enemy in shambles and stunned.
NDTV is right at the line of control, first time after Operation Synindhur here in Kupwara sector. And these, forward positions, the frontline posts of Indian Army tells you the story. No damage to any of these posts tells you that Pakistan has not been able to inflict any damage in this particular sector. While on the other side of the fence, Army says there's massive damage to Pakistani installations, Pakistani positions and terror launch pads. Let me show you how close we are. This is the line of control and this is the fencing along the line of control. And on the other side of the fencing is Lipa Valley. And according to Army, there have been many terror launch pads and the Pakistani positions which were heavily pounded by the Army. And they were dismantled, destroyed and damaged during May 7 and May 10 before the India and Pakistan arrived at a ceasefire understanding.
While the courage, the valor of our soldiers speaks for itself, what is seldom not seen is the hardships these valiant men and women endure to keep the country safe. The life at the LOC is all but normal.
What is the life of a soldier deployed 100 meters away in a bunker from a Pakistani post?
See, I would say that it is beyond imagination of any civilian counterpart.
Yeah.
But then, yes, it is difficult, no doubt about it. And the post which was shown to you, it looks like that it is too easy to go and reach there.
Yeah.
But you all must have climbed and then you felt the difficulty level, what it was.
Yeah.
And more so, it is not that the Jawan just has to reach from one post to another post.
Yeah.
It is when he is moving, then his standard of training also comes into play, because the enemy is just on the lookout. If the soldier exposes himself just for a fraction of a second, he can be sniped. So that is the amount of difficulty level which the Jawan faces on a day-to-day basis.
Yeah.
Nation will always be indebted to the selfless service of our soldiers. It's because of them we sleep in peace. And our enemies get sleepless nights.
While a great deal has been said about the missile attacks that India did on Pakistan, the destruction of parts of their air bases, or the phenomenal air defense which we had up to prevent attacks from Pakistani drones and missiles, there is a lot else which has happened by way of action during Op Synindhur. There has been very heavy artillery shelling across the line of control. And I'm in a forward post at an altitude of more than 10,000 feet in the Greater Poonch area. I'm joined now by a colonel who I unfortunately cannot name because we've got pretty strict rules of conduct at this stage, to give us a few ideas about the extent of shelling and what really took place. I think before we talk about the shelling, your goal and the goal of your men was to hit targets in POK, which lie just a close distance away, right?
Yeah. See, first of all, I want to assure you that the mistake which enemy did on the intervening night of 6th and 7th May, he has been punished in a manner that he will think at least 100 times before doing the same mistake. So that is what I want to confirm to you and I want to assure you. And now coming on to the execution part of Op Synindhur, I would say that we are a professional army, and as a professional army we are on training. We are carrying out training 24/7 and full year. So it is an ongoing procedure, ongoing activity. So, and we train 24/7 for the full year, keeping in mind that as and when we are given the task of executing a mission like Op Synindhur, so we should be able to execute it in the correct manner, the way it is supposed to be and the way it is being asked for from our higher headquarters. So exactly on the same way, on the intervening night of 6th and 7th May, we just had 2 mortar bombs fired by the enemy onto this exact location where you are standing. And I assure you that within 3 minutes of we receiving the fire from the enemy, with pre-coordinated fire plan, pre-planned fire assault plan, we destroyed enemy's 13 posts.
Op Synindhur, of course, is not over at all, but when we were at the peak of Op Synindhur, what we've now learned is that mechanized infantry units of the Indian Army, armored units of the Indian Army were also deployed right up to the line of control and taking out terrorist incursion or potential terrorist incursion routes. Joining us now, a colonel of the army who was involved in these operations. We can't name him right now, and that gives you an idea of how tense things still are. But thank you very much for speaking to us. It was interesting to learn about the use of BMPs and tanks as well. What was their role in Synindhur so far?
So far, see, if I say they were used in a sub-conventional manner. If I may say, they were used for precision targeting and a calibrated response, so that it doesn't happen that the caliber escalation is there. So that's why the targets were identified, which were within range and which had to be hit with precision. So if you can roll down, you can see a 30 millimeter gun. It is very precise and it can fire various types of ammunition, which can have a devastating effect on the enemy. And thereafter, we have got a missile also, which can hit till around 4,000 meters. So that is why only small portion, if I may say, only a fraction of these equipment were used against the ceasefire violation which the enemy had brought on us.
And I think that's important because you were ready to go in, and if the order came, you were fully deployed, you would have moved, right?
Yes, if earlier also I said that these equipment, the right in front of us, and the equipment, it is an instrument of decision, if I may literally say that. So therefore, the preparation level, it has to be 24/7, 365 days. It can't happen that suddenly one fine day we get a plan. No, it is not like that. We were always ready. The only option were the word to go and the target which we have to execute. So thereafter, when the incident happened on 22nd of May, and thereafter Synindhur started rolling down, and thereafter we were given the precise target, and we were told that it has to be done at any cost, and which I'm proud to say that today my unit executed it to the perfection.
Can you tell us what that mission was?
It was,
what did you hit?
See, it was the enemy posts which were facilitating the infiltration. We also know that which are the posts which are used as a base for facilitating the infiltration by terrorists. So therefore, it was an informed call which was taken with respect to the targets, and those targets were hit across the line of control.
Yeah. Tell us a little bit about the training which goes into all of this. I understand the role of these gunners, but beyond that, to coordinate everything must be a huge effort.
Firstly, regarding Akash theory, you said, see, these are nodes, yes, and these nodes are at troop level. It's not that it's a very high level. In a unit, in a troop level, it is there. So at weapon end, we are getting that kind of information, which an operator is getting. And from that operator, we are getting to the radars, and we can track them and down them. This integration is also these, what you're talking about, the training of these men. We get them trained all year long. This operation, though it is good, our morale was high then also, during operation also, and now also, because of our training. The men are trained very hard. We are always on the training. In fact, I should say we are also training with Air Force,
right,
with their ICCS notes. We're training with them also. So this, because of this training only, I would say that we were able to, you can see the results.
Yeah. पूरा ईयर, पूरा साल ट्रेनिंग पे लगे रहते हैं, और ट्रेनिंग और टीम वर्क, मेरे ख्याल से,
एंड ट्रेनिंग दोनों।
तो इन दोनों मतलब अहम रोल्स के बारे में बताइए, क्योंकि अगर आप ट्रेन नहीं करते, टेक्नोलॉजी पे एक एक्सपर्टीज नहीं होता, फिर मुश्किल हो जाता।
जी, इसमें एक हमारी सेना में कहावत है कि पीस टाइम में बहाया गया पसीना आपका युद्ध के समय में खून बचाता है। तो इसका एक सफल उदाहरण हमने इस ऑपरेशन सिंदूर के दौरान में देखा कि जो ट्रेनिंग हमने पीस टाइम में की थी, ऑन ग्राउंड जो संघर्ष हुआ हमारा दुश्मनों से, उसके दौरान हमने उस ट्रेनिंग का जो फल था वो प्राप्त किया।
When the Indian Army goes in for operations, particularly something as big as Synindhur, you have to be ready for casualties, you have to be ready for damage. And doctors in the Indian Army have a huge role. I'm joined by a captain in the Indian Army. She's a doctor as well. Thank you very much for being with us. Could you tell us what we are standing in front of? This looks like an ambulance, right?
Yeah. So the vehicle which you can see right behind me is the armored ambulance tracked vehicle. So this is an ambulance on a fully tracked combat vehicle. So the greatest advantage of this ambulance over the other conventional ambulances is that it is highly armored protected, and since it is fully tracked, it enables its mobility in difficult terrains, as you can see.
Captain, could you tell us about your training when it comes to scenarios like this, where you'd be dealing with shrapnel injuries, bullet wounds, mine injuries, etc., etc. This needs, instant assistance, and that golden hour, they say, is critical. What is the golden hour in layman's terms?
So that is what actually makes us different from the normal civil doctors. We are basically trained in the tactical combat casualty care, which includes handling casualties, which is not like the regular casualties in the civil area. So as you rightly mentioned about the various kinds of injuries, we are basically taught to manage these injuries and about hemorrhage control, and also how to evacuate the patients to higher centers, timely evacuation, and thereon.
But Doctor, I must ask you one question. In as much as your job is to save lives and to protect our soldiers, you operate a gun if it's necessary, right? You carry one with you at all stages. Yes. As you go in with these formations, right?
Yes. Again, that is one more difference which makes us stand apart from the civil doctors, is that if need be, we'd be ready to fire.
Yeah. And Captain, one final question. Why did you want to be a doctor in the armed forces as opposed to, let's say, being a civilian doctor? Did you always want to be in uniform?
Yeah, uniform is one of the major factors, and apart from that, army and armed forces just gives you a hell lot of experiences, and it teaches you a lot in your life, and that's why I'm over here.
We are fully operationally ready, we are fully prepared, and if the enemy shows one more sign of aggressiveness, we will show what we are made of.
मैम, कैसे challenges फेस करते हो, किस तरह के challenges आते हैं?
Sir, BSF is the first line of defense, and I want to add one more thing, which is this is the line that never breaks. हम तारबंदी पे 24 घंटे तैनात रहते हैं, और इसलिए हमें बहुत सारे challenges जैसे बरसात, आंधी, तूफान, ठंड, गर्मी, सबका सामना करना पड़ता है. बॉर्डर रिवर होकर के भी गुजरती है, तो फ्लड्स भी आते हैं, और उस टाइम पे हमें फ्लड में भी ड्यूटी करनी पड़ती है. तो वैसे उस टाइम पे तो हम नी तक के बूट्स पहनते हैं, विच इज़ गम बूट्स. इसके अलावा हम जंगल झाड़ियों में भी ड्यूटी करते हैं, जिससे हमें सांप बिच्छुओं का खतरा रहता है, मच्छरों का खतरा रहता है. तो इसके लिए हम मस्क्यूटो रिपेलेंट्स वगैरह यूज़ करते हैं रेगुलरली. तो इस तरीके से हम अपने चैलेंजेस को टैकल करते हैं और बॉर्डर पे 24/7 बने रहते हैं.
मेरा मुल्क, मेरा देश, मेरा ये वतन, शांति का, उन्नति का, प्यार का चमन. मेरा मुल्क, मेरा देश, मेरा ये वतन, शांति का, उन्नति का, प्यार का चमन. इसके वास्ते निसार है